How's it going, guys? The big Broken Arrow patch, the biggest they've released since the launch of the game, is out. It's just come out. I'm just currently downloading it. It is a whopping 17.4 gigabytes, which means it must contain a lot of stuff, right? That's how that works. So we'll cover this in the usual excruciating detail. Basically, there's penalties for deserters, and there's a surrender option, there's anti-cheat, and there's like massive balance changes with actually like new weapons added and stuff. So it's the first new content I think that we've had since the game's launch 3 months ago. Just to give you the state of play, currently 40% positive in the last 30 days. If it goes below 40, it goes back to mostly negative, which it was a few days ago, and 61% positive overall. People have been waiting for this patch. They've been clamoring for this patch. So let's see if the patch lives up to the hype. So we'll be reading through the patch notes, and then when it gets to the parts where it shows like new equipment and stuff, I'll launch the game. Looks like I've just finished updating it. And yeah, first we'll watch the propaganda video that they've included here. So here's the propaganda video. Let's react to the propaganda video. Well, let's watch it in 4K. So there you go, air-launched ballistic missiles. I suppose they're different to air-launched cruise missiles, perhaps? Deserters penalty. Well, what does it say? You have left the previous match and abandoned your teammates. As a penalty, you cannot create or join a new lobby during several minutes. For several minutes it should be, but okay. Use the surrender function next time to avoid this penalty. There you go. So you can use your time to brush up on your English. Surrender vote feature. I'm weak, surrender! And then one guy, hang on, so one guy voted no, and it still surrendered. So that's interesting. Whoa, okay, so we've got, so we know Yeet Machine. I don't know any of the other guys. This guy's named after Japanese, child exploitation actions, so that's cool. Factions rebalance. Okay, so hang on, there's stuff happening here. So this is strikers, right? So the strikers are giving an Apache to airborne. No, hang on, this is special forces. Special forces are giving an Apache to airborne. This is the striker one because it's got the horsey on it. They're giving a Patriot to armored, and armored is giving a Patriot to marines. Interesting. So you can get new skins, I guess, and also additional Hellfire missiles for the Black Hawk DAP. So that's, hang on, 4, 6, and then presumably 12. I gotta admit, the pre-renders always look so much nicer than when I play the game. Like, the graphics look so much better. I'm not sure if you noticed where those missiles were coming from there. Yeah, okay, so it lofts first, so it must be, so it's a top attack missile. Yeah, clearly. It just looked like it was coming out the top of it. Up armored vehicles based on the BMD-4 chassis. Okay, so that's a BMD-4 with what looks like ATGMs, although it did just shoot a helicopter, so maybe not. Oh, hang on, that might be the... Is that like a ZU autocannon or something? That looks like attackers. That looks like a gun. Right, so attackers, smoke, gun, reactive armor, right? Sorry, cope cage, and yeah, that's like double-barreled something. That's probably the AA one, maybe. 127mm Zuni rockets for the Super Cobra. So these are really fun to use in Warno, so that's great to see. And I don't know if the skin is new, but there you go. There's a Cobra on the Cobra. Wow, incredible. BMP2 without conkers. Wano doesn't actually have this, which is an absolute travesty because of their commitment to historical accuracy, where apparently in World War III everybody would always have enough ammo for their conkers. It's impossible in Wano to get a BMP2 without a... what have I just pressed, man? It's impossible in Wano to get a BMP2 without a conkers, which is just really dumb. Like, why remove that variety from the game? It's not hard to put in. Anyway, looks like it's shooting at a Bradley there. And it killed the Bradley. I'm sure the Americans are going to be really happy about that. cluster rounds for striker SPHs, so these are in the striker spec, as you might expect. I do bring these, actually. But if you bring 4, you're an idiot. But yeah, it's cool that they've got clusters. Will the cluster one still have smoke? That'll be interesting. Now, we've got some 9-man airborne squads, so were they 8 before? Maybe they were 8 before, so here we can see, you know, 4 guys. It's interesting they actually fit. So there's 4 in there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I suppose it's including the driver, right? Hang on. So you've got 2 in the front and 1 on the gun, and then, so that's 5 in the front. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so it includes the driver and the gunner, I suppose, right? So there you go. Everyone fights. Haha, more like everyone shites, am I right? Anyway, let's read the patch. So, it's got new content, which is the first thing. So that's what everybody likes to see, right? Because the game is a little bland. And yeah, let's get through it. As always, timestamps in the description. But first, I'd like to shill my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I'd like to shill it. You can see it where you're currently watching this. I live stream every day. Please, my channel is dying. So first, penalty for deserters. One of the most disruptive behaviours in multiplayer battles continues to be players quitting matches prematurely, leaving their teammates at a significant disadvantage. Yep, that's been in the game for 3 months now. That ends now, hooray! In the standard matchmaking mode, a system of progressive penalties is now in place. If a player quits a match and does not reconnect, they will receive a temporary ban from joining new games. Hooray! Each repeated violation increases the penalty duration from 2 minutes... Okay, up to 3 hours. Okay, well that's good. But then, so is it like if I play one, then leave one, then play one, then leave one, will it reset? Because 2 minutes is not a long time. I would have started it as 15, frankly. I know there's a lot of people who insist on, you know, it's my copy of the game, I don't care, you shouldn't stop me from leaving and rejoining things. I have no sympathy for these people. With this system, we aim to reduce the number of matches where teams are left at a disadvantage, helping to preserve balance and ensure a fairer gameplay experience for everyone. I have a single rule: everyone fights, no one quits. That's a line from Wargame Red Dragon, which is where these guys are from. And yeah, he says it in the campaign, I think. Mr. General Bennett. Surrender option. Alongside this, we are introducing the option to surrender during a match, as we saw in the video. This feature helps teams avoid drawn-out battles with no chance of victory, allowing them to move on more quickly to the next game and focus on new fights. So the exact opposite of what you've just done here. It also gives players greater control over the flow of the match and the time they spend in it. The surrender option is available in all game modes and lets teams end a battle without additional penalties. The match is simply recorded as a loss for one side and a win for the other. The surrender vote can be initiated after 5 minutes of gameplay. So you can't just insta-surrender. Although, so basically there's an exploit that all of the pro teams use, where if they come up against a team they know can beat them, they all Alt F4 during the loading screen, and it just cancels the match and they don't lose any elo. So they're just going to keep doing that. Voting, because this'll make you lose elo. Voting lasts for 30 seconds, after which the results are calculated automatically. A clear, 2 spaces there, majority of votes within the team is required for the surrender to succeed. To prevent abuse, a new vote can only be started 5 minutes after the previous one. Yeah, I mean, people are going to call a lot of votes, but as you saw from the video, it's like a tiny box in the top right, so I don't think it's the end of the world. This new system addresses 2 big problems. On the one hand, it allows players to end matches where the outcome is already obvious, sparing them from spending time in hopeless battles. On the other, it provides a fair and transparent tool for concluding matches, preventing premature exits and letting teams move on to the next fight more quickly. Great. Somebody told me to point out that this is something ChatGPT puts in things all the time. These EM dashes, they're called. Anyway, it's nice. There is a surrender option. Obviously, this has been a very long time coming. There is no dishonor, spelled in the American way, in retreating to fight another day, son, and that was Colonel Demidov from the campaign, if you recall. Anti-cheat. We continue to improve our tools to detect cheaters and adapt to the new cheating tools, which are constantly being created/updated. Every update contains new anti-cheat measures, even if we don't talk about them in detail, to avoid giving information to the cheats as users/creators. I suppose that's yeah, because it's a plural, so it's cheats, and then it's possession, so the cheats own the users in a way. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. If you encounter a case that you believe to be a cheat, please report it to these guys. Yeah, so they used to have a public report section on their Discord, and they had to close it down because there were literally thousands of reports, and anybody could come in and see all those reports and see the video footage and see how broken the game was. It was really bad for their marketing, so they made it. Now you got to email them. Your report will be thoroughly reviewed by our support team and will result in a ban if we conclude that a player is indeed cheating. We review such reports every day. Yeah, they've got some guy that they hired who just sits in the basement and reads all these reports. Let me deal with those filthy... Some people really go for this stuff, you know, the whole, like, immersion thing. What can I say? I'm just too much of a jaded individual. Anyway, so this is some more propaganda for you. So there you go. Wow. Are you feeling good about it? So everyone fights. The highlights: new models, so improved models for the BMD. I was gonna say I could have sworn like isn't this already in the in the game? Improved models for the BMD family of vehicles, improved armor customization, and the M4A1 URG-1 rifle. Okay, so that's yeah new models. Balance improvement. ChatGPT doesn't check images, apparently. New tools to analyze players' habits. Factions' win rates rebalance. US specializations interoperability improved. New customization options. Anti-cheat improvements. Improved detection methods. Higher reactivity. Additional personnel treating user reports and appeals. I suppose... I mean, they already told us this, but I guess it's between the two updates this new guy started, and he sits in the basement and he reads the reports. New features: surrender vote function to give up a match early, punishment for players abandoning their teammates, air launch ballistic missile trajectory. Because I was going to say, isn't this already in the game, and doesn't it already do that? Or, I don't know. So, changelog added. Surrender feature. The surrender feature is available in every game mode. The team may call for a surrender after spending 5 minutes in a game. The surrender vote has a 5-minute cooldown after a vote has been rejected. The vote goes for 30 seconds. If you don't vote, it counts as a no. So that's not ideal, because if you've got a bunch of AFK guys on your team and you want to bounce, you can't, because they will automatically vote no. Oh dear. The number of votes needed to pass depends on your team size. For 5 players, you need 4 votes. 4 players, 3 votes. 3 players, 2 votes. 2 players, 2 votes. 1 player is instant surrender. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Surrendering doesn't incur any additional penalties. The match will simply be counted as a defeat for one side and a win for another, for the other. Penalty for deserters. Penalty for deserters only applies in the standard game mode with matchmaking. Players will be penalised if they leave a match without using the surrender function. If there are still teammates in the match, the penalty is progressive. Each additional leave will increase the punishment. Penalty progression is reset if no match is abandoned during 24 hours. While penalised, players can't play any standard multiplayer matches anymore. So it's 2 minutes for the first leave, 5 minutes for the second leave, 15, 30, 60, 180. I honestly think it should have just started here, because 2 minutes is nothing. And depending... Penalty. Oh, okay, so penalty progression is reset if no match is abandoned during 24 hours. So it's not just play one, bail one, play one, bail one. It's 24 hours. But, like, who's leaving 6 matches in... I'm sure they exist, but... it really only becomes a problem after the third one, so I'm not really sure that's... Especially, like, the first 2 just don't matter. Because surely if you're leaving, you've got something to do, and that something is probably going to take 15 minutes. Because if it took 5 minutes, you could just go AFK and come back. which is actually how you're supposed to play Broken Arrow because of the way the income scaling works. Anyway, these values can easily be changed, in our servers without requiring any client-side update. If we continue these values ineffective or too harsh, we will tweak them. The new features. The laser designation order now keeps in memory which target was designated if the line of sight is broken. If the target becomes available again, it will be designated again automatically. Yeah, actually, that's a really useful change. So basically, if you're like a sniper team and you're trying to designate a tank and the tank is just going behind buildings one at a time going down a road, you have to designate it, then it breaks, then you have to manually designate it again, and then it breaks, and then you have to do it manually again. So it's nice that it will actually just regain it. The laser designation order can be given on a unit out of range or behind an obstacle. This will put this target in memory and it will be designated automatically if the parameters become correct. So that's cool. It should make laser designation a lot easier. Added dynamic battle music in order to highlight the last minute of each phase. Okay, that's not really what I thought it would be. Basically, if you read through these, and I did a video on it, one of them talks about it's the composer talking about how he made the music, and he talks about how he layers the tracks so that if the battle's more intense, there's more shooty, and it's something I didn't really notice happening in the game, and I assume that's what they meant by dynamic battle music, but they're saying it just highlights the last minute of each phase, but okay, whatever. Added a confirmation pop-up when deleting a battle group in the arsenal, okay. Added improved models for the BMD4, BTR MDM, and Cornet D1, including a new armor upgrade. Because, yeah, I was going to say, I could have sworn those were already in the game, and they were, like, new things. But, yeah, the BMD4 definitely is. Can't remember the MDM. The Cornet D1, I remember. So let's launch our newly updated Broken Arrow, and let's check out these new models. Obviously, it's going to take a while to launch, because my PC's kind of slow. Can't skip this. Can't skip this. It's probably time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views, so if you're concerned about your ad block, then you can join for 1 month and then cancel it. This is my sole source of income, which is why I shill so much. I don't want to have to get a real job. I'm trying to finish a PhD at the moment, so it wouldn't be easy to do both. I'd probably have to quit the channel if it came down to it. But anyway, BMD4. Let's have a look at the BMD4. BMD4. Is it any different? Oh, I guess it means this one is different. The up-armored one is different. Because otherwise, I mean, is it any different? I can't really tell. Maybe it is. Maybe the eagle-eyed Amogus will be able to tell. But I think that is different. The up-armored variant. I think that does look different, but I don't think the base one does. Maybe I'm wrong. BTR MDM. BTR MDM. So here it is. So that's it at default. And then this is from the trailer. And then there you go, you can get the cope cage on it. Cornet D1. Cornet D1. So this is also from the trailer, this was the front one. And there you go, when it's up armored, you get the cope cages. It is pretty funny how when Russia went into Ukraine, they called them all cope cages. And then when Israel went into Gaza, they were like, no, we can't call them nice. It's actually a good idea. I do remember those conversations, maybe you don't. But anyway, so there's the new armor upgrade, I suppose. You can now drag and drop when unloading units. The position where you press the button is where the troops will be unloaded. And the position where you release the click is where the unloaded troops will go after being unloaded. If this position is a building, they will automatically enter it. So I actually do remember talking to the guy, the lead developer, Flix, back when we used to be on speaking terms. And and he was like, how comes you keep doing this thing where you drop in the the things on the building. I said, well, because I'm used to playing a game where you still can't get any friendly AI, by the way. You still can't play by yourself, but whatever. I'm used to playing a game where I can unload them directly into the building like you can in Wano, but yeah, this must be that feature that he was talking about. Because he was like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. So, the position where you press the button is where the troops will be unloaded, and the position where you release the click is where the unloaded troops will go after being unloaded. If this position is a building, they will automatically enter it. Well, sadly, we gotta wait a minute, so let's just keep reading. General fixes and improvements. Fix the infamous crash to desktop upon leaving the game. Yeah, so when you would press quit, it would crash the game. And that was like that for like 2 years, and then they finally fixed it, so that's nice. After this update, if at least one player fails to connect to the game server, the match will be cancelled automatically. Yeah, so basically, oh, hello! Sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. So, basically, I'm sorry, I'm just too enamored by this. Sometimes the games would just start 5v4, and you're like, oh, you've just got 4 guys now. So at least they fixed that. But yeah, this is what I was speaking about earlier. If you skipped ahead, basically I said that what the pro squads will do is they'll come up against my boy I Won the Internet, who's the rank 1 player, and they'll see him, and then they'll all just F4 during the loading screen, and it'll say match cancelled. And they won't lose any elo. But now, players who intentionally disconnect by closing the game or unplugging their internet before a match begins will be flagged as deserters if they fail to reconnect. So there you go, so you're forced to play against the world number 2 Broken Arrow player. I'm obviously the world number 1. If an entire team does this, all members will receive a deserter penalty. Good. It's absolutely ridiculous how disgusting the top level of this game is. But anyway, so we've got a weapon squad, right? And what was it again? Drag and drop when unloading, right? So at first you can't do it from spawn, right? But you gotta press, so you press unload. So I want to get to a building, right? So yeah, we'll just get him up to there and we'll say unload, and then there to there. And look at that, there's a little arrow. And Mr. Potty Mouth here. In his clown car. The zoom in is not, because if I rotate and then, okay, it works a little, whatever. Anyway, so now look, they're automatic, so that's useful. Nice little quality of life feature there, and yeah, they're going in, and I'm going to assume they're going to get into that building. Reconnect grace period increased by 1 minute to 6 minutes. Fix various cases where players had the game freeze due to another player disconnecting from the game. So I have had my game freeze before. I didn't know it was one of the reasons that could do that. Fixed an issue with building textures flashing with various colours. Oh, so that's nice, because that's been in the game for ages. Because, yeah, I would have a thing where if I scrolled forwards and backwards, like the buildings would like flash green. And I thought it's just my computer, but I saw I saw the community manager, like, before the game came out, because I got to play in some early press beta thing, and it was doing that, and it was still doing that when the game came out, but I saw his stream, and in his stream it was like a night map, and as he moved through the map, because obviously everything was black, the buildings would flash green as well, so I knew it wasn't just me. But yeah, I'm not seeing any flashing buildings, so that's a nice quality of life fix. Yeah, they're not flashing. Optimize textures of every infantry unit, which should reduce VRAM consumption. Yeah, so basically there is a memory leak in this game. I advise you to restart after every match you play. I suppose that would be a separate issue, but yeah, if they're reducing the original VRAM usage by optimizing these textures, they kind of look the same, but I don't know how they looked before, Who knows? Who knows what it could have been that they optimized. Anyway, oh, you can hear the radio. That's cool. So yeah, you can hear like the other people fighting in the same. That's cool. Anyway, optimize infantry shader for the potato graphic preset. Okay, I don't play on potato, but I'll just take your word for it. I can't be bothered changing it. Fixed an issue when direct loading from a transport to building or building to transport, resulting in infantry position desynchronization. Didn't you fix that last time? Or maybe they said they were going to fix it. Could have sworn they said they fixed that last time. There's a lot of things in these patch notes where they're like, yeah, we fixed it, and then the next time they're like, yeah, we fixed it. Was it desync? Yeah, so this is the current patch. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, I say this is they said they were going to fix it, but they didn't say they'd fixed it. This is where they said they were going to fix it, which is why I recognize that. And then wait a minute. Oh no, they did say they'd fixed it in 1.0.9.1. Fix a desynchronization issue occurring when ordering to pick up infantry with a transport while this infantry unit is entering a building. It's the same thing. This led to infantry entering the transport from your point of view but staying in the building from the opponent's point of view. So yeah, second time lucky. Yep. Unloading from transport into building. Yep, exactly. Fixed an issue when restarting a scenario could result in getting the default deck. Didn't they fix that last time as well? Or did they? Maybe they said they were going to fix it. I have to check this again. Editor. It's not the same thing. So this is when they added the restart button. This is what we're reading. Who knows? Oh no, I'm losing my broken arrow game. I'm so bad, clearly. Anyway, but yeah, it's nice they fixed it. Let's see if it fixed. Fixed an issue when switching ammo led to a reset of the aiming process. Okay. Fixed an issue. Oh, so just to explain that, basically tanks have multiple ammo types, and you can switch between them if you want. And apparently that would reset the aim time. And now apparently it doesn't. Fixed an issue where players could receive more or less money than they should at the end of the phases. By default, 100 points per victory point scored by the enemy during this phase. Okay, so I did a video talking about how you can win this game by losing the first phase, which will give you loads of money, and it gave you 60 points per victory point. Now it gives you 100. Okay. Fix an issue where units refunded in a transport were not available to be spawned again. Yeah, I had that problem. Fixed an issue in Forbidden Waters single-player mission where players couldn't get a gold medal due to the condition. Kill 50 enemy units with SSO or Spetsnaz VMF not working. Fixed an issue with the drawing phase where players couldn't see the icons already placed by players who loaded the map faster. Okay, so that, you know, when you join in, there's a map. You used to actually be able to write on it, and they removed that because people would write... you know, people would have fun. You're not allowed to have fun. Fix various bugs of the Lua code in the script editor, improved Lua compatibility with the game, and added a thorough FAQ of the Lua node in the help section of the editor. I wish they would write these properly, man. But yeah, Lua is basically a scripting language. You use it in the editor. It's quite a common one. Fix an issue when the node's data output pins sometimes triggering input flows before actually filling the data inputs. Must be something to do with the editor. The new compare unit node now properly supports spawn related data, so yeah, this is editor as well. Fixed an issue where the strafing run order was inactive when a plane was out of gun ammo, so that's the editor. Fixed an issue in the reinforcement menu. If multiple similar units were coming back to the battle group after being destroyed/refunded, the timer indicator didn't necessarily display the shortest duration as it should have. Okay, so let's say you've got two T-14 Armatas, you spawn them both, they both die, but one dies a minute after another. Where the unit spawn is, in the top left, there's like a pie chart which will slowly fill up, and that wasn't always correct. And I was wondering, like, why isn't this right? I guess because it wouldn't like you said, it wouldn't always have the closest one. It might be saying this is how long for the longest one instead of the shortest one. Fixed an issue where the Sprint's voice line. What? Sprint's voice line was shouted by the units at the end of the sprint timer instead of at the beginning. Okay, so presumably when you give the infantry a sprint command, they probably shout something like, "I am running!" And apparently it would shout at the end instead of the start. Fixed an issue where camera movement was still enabled while having the pause menu open. Okay, I didn't notice that one. Fixed an issue where some AAs with static radars were able to move with their radar turned on while returning to base. Oh, I didn't know about that. Interesting. So if you gave like a Patriot a sell order, it might keep its radar on while it's being sold. Fix an issue with friendly units labels blocking attack orders. Now the order is applied through ally labels. Okay, so basically if you have let's get paint open. So if you've got a friendly over here and he's in like green or whatever color of your choice that you choose to have him in, and there's a bad guy here behind him and you want to attack the bad guy, you know, maybe it's like that. That's weird. Why is it so whatever. Now, you know, if you clicked here, it would block the attack order, but now it will correctly attack that unit if you click there. You know, where the overlap is, because you got to imagine that this is going to keep going, and yeah. Fixed an issue with the reinforcement menu having clickable areas in between unit cards leading to misclicks. Okay, so I didn't notice that one, but basically the reinforcement boxes, you know, because there is like, it's like an image, right? There must have been a gap between some of the images, and now apparently this gap isn't here anymore. Fix an issue where orders... Hang on, missed one. Fix an issue when square selecting multiple aeroplanes was resulting in incorrect data being displayed in the selection panel of the unit. I didn't notice that one. Fix an issue where orders were blocked by invisible UI elements on the right of the screen. I have noticed giving orders and sometimes they don't go through. Maybe, yeah, there was some invisible thing stopping me. Or maybe I'm just skill issued. Fixed an issue where usage of the tab hotkey while having a group of units selected led to an aeroplane being added to the group instead of selecting it. Okay. Fixed an issue where alert messages would be so that's like control groups, I suppose. Fixed an issue where alert messages would be displayed even when the UI is switched off. You can press F11 to switch off the UI, apparently. Fixed an issue where player was able to bind the same shortcut key for mutually exclusive actions. Oh no! I had that on purpose. I had my shift click bound to the arty panel and to the shift click through the arty panel. I hope they haven't removed my ability to do that. That was actually very useful. Now we gotta go back in game. I'll keep reading in the meantime. Fix an issue... Oh no, I read that one. Fix multiple cases of the lobby's UI being corrupted when joining it from the arsenal, the editor, or the initial loading screen. Yeah, so you would sometimes... I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but sometimes you would have games where there would just be no UI in the game, and then the game would just never end, and you'd have to desert. It's really weird. I'm not sure if it's the same thing. Are we in? No. Oh yeah, this is the screen where you can put the logos and stuff, and apparently if I loaded in faster than you, you wouldn't see the icons I placed before you loaded in. Fix an issue when deserters could gain elo if the match ended in a draw. Yeah, I saw that happen a few times. That was a bit weird. Yeah, fixed a mentor and supply raider medals condition not working. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what mentor is. Supply raider presumably involves killing supplies. Logistics officer medal now requires 20 tons of supplies instead of 25 tons of supplies. Okay. Airborne medal now require 20... Please, man. I mean, the first part of it was so well written, and now I'm really struggling here. Requires 20 airdrop units instead of 50. Time to jump. Fixed the guarding angel medal not working correctly. Okay, pilots refunded inside transports didn't count. Huh. So I think if I remember correctly, Guardian Angel is get the pilots back, get loads of pilots back. And if you had them in a transport, which you basically always would, right? Then you would refund them and it wouldn't count. Okay, I guess that's why I never got that one. There was something I wanted to... oh yeah, I wanted to check my artillery. See if I can still... Because I have shift, click, and... Right, where are we? No! Shift used to toggle between all these. And now it doesn't. But it still opens it, I guess. It's weird, actually. Like, a lot of people probably find that kind of annoying, but for me it works really well. Oh, I need something that actually has multiple ammo types. Oh, no, it's still... Yeah, okay, so it's not changed that for me. You do have to turn off sticky keys if you want to do that. Anyway, fix an issue with laser-guided shells indefinitely orbiting around destroyed buildings. Sorry, folks, the laser disco ball party is over. I definitely did see things where if you get like a tulipan or whatever it's called, the mortar, and you launch it, you can basically get the round on a flat trajectory by using the laser guidance, and then it will never crash, right? Because it will never go down, so it'll never hit the ground. So you can just, if you keep changing where you're lasing it to, it can just fly around in circles. I don't know if that's... oh, that's this one. Fixed an exploit when laser-guided shells could almost endlessly follow a laser if you moved it further away as they approached it. Well, yeah. Fix an issue when the lemur wasn't able to hit infantry in buildings in some cases. So this is, it's like a Russian helicopter-launched missile. It's a very chunky missile. Fixed unload command node, unloading immediately when target position was used in the node. That must be from the editor. Fixed an error that may occur when saving a local copy of scenario. So that must be from the editor. Fix the LODs on the KC-130. So this is level of detail. Basically, the way games work is... maybe I can show you. So, obviously it depends on your graphic settings and stuff, right? But this is like a detailed model, fairly detailed, right? Go Army, beat Navy, right? And then as you zoom out, do you see... Okay, so do you see those bushes changing? That's a perfect example. Do you see the bush changing as we zoom in? That's level of detail. So as you zoom out, and it tries to do it in a way that you wouldn't notice. It depends on your graphic settings and so on. Basically, they will swap out the higher resolution model for a lower resolution model to save on performance, because at this range you don't have to render that high resolution model because all I can see is a rectangle. So why not just swap it out for just a box, and then it'll be cheaper and your FPS will go up. So presumably there was something wrong with that one. Fixed the gun turret position on the Super Cobra. Okay, fixed the infantry animation during the airdrop. Fixed the unique fourth camo for the Su-30M. Oh yeah, the infantry animation during the airdrop they said they'd fix last time as well, but... Basically you could drop guys out of helicopters, and the parachute would start in the ground and then rise to meet the helicopter, or maybe it's a slightly different issue, I don't know. Fix some skins, right? Various missiles, VFX improvements. Only for high or ultra. Okay, so I probably won't notice that. Updated lighting points on every missile. Remove the frequent flickering. That was very annoying, actually. Added lighting for shorter range, and so basically your missile should glow better. Fletcher missiles now have the proper effect for tracer and smoke trails. Okay, yeah, because this was kind of hard to see, so maybe it's better to see now, easier to see. Updated the night ambience on every map to improve the contrast and readability, except Snow Castle and Cold Harbour, because of the snow already provided a nice contrast. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of the maps are just kind of just black and you can't see anything. Improved day and morning visuals ambience. Okay, so apparently daytime will look better as well. Various visual tweaks and improvements on the hangar scene. Various visual tweaks for airport-related objects. So we were just on airport. So something has changed here. Broken Airways. It's very funny. Put broken in the title of your game and then nobody can call it broken without giving you free marketing. I do wonder what they changed. But yeah, my game stutters as I move around the map because the game does still kind of run like crap. Yeah, I'm not sure what's different really. I don't really look at stuff because I play from basically the max zoom, right? Whatever the default is, and I just, you know, order my labels around. Alright. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'll do a surrender vote. I voted to surrender. Hooray. Anyway. Several units have received a new unique icon to help distinguish them. The F-16CJ, okay, because, yeah, some of these did look kind of similar. Let's check them in the armory. F-16, SU-27, I saw the Harrier there. Okay, so F-16CJ has a new icon. I mean, we're here, we might as well check it out, right? F-16CJ, okay, yeah, because I guess this probably looked like the regular Falcon before, and now you can tell the difference on the icon, so your enemy should also get a better idea of what's coming. SU-27SM, SU-27SM, so that looks different now to the regular SU-27, which doesn't seem to exist, apparently. Oh, weird. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely different. He looks worse, actually, but the perspective's all wrong. Anyway, SU-35S, SU-35... I put 25 because I'm dumb. Okay. Is there only one SU-35? I don't know, it must have looked similar to some of the other ones. So, yeah, it looks worse. I don't know, it's got less detail. Whatever, it's not a big deal. It's different. It helps you tell. FA18D, F/A18D. Yeah, so I think these two used to look too similar, presumably, before. Now one is like sideways. So you can tell the difference when it's flying towards you. And just checking to make sure this is actually working when I... What? Okay, yeah, it is. Sorry. AV-8B Harrier. AV-8B Harrier. Yeah, so these two used to look pretty similar. Now this one is looking more from a top down. It does look worse, doesn't it? This one looks better. The older one. Oh, wait. Maybe this one was the one that changed. No, the Harrier Plus was the one that changed. Which is this one. SU-25SM. Okay, SU-25SM. So yeah, there's a couple SU-25s. Looks different to this one. This one looks better. I'm not sure what's going on there. Is it just in my head? Striker ESV? There's lots of strikers, so I suppose that makes sense. Okay, so you can tell it's got this on the front, but like from a gameplay perspective, they're identical, so you would assume that this Dozer blade would add a little bit more front armor, because obviously if it hits that, it's not going to hit this, so... But no, it's just the same. So yeah, it's got this on the front, but it doesn't matter. It looks the same, by the way. It keeps in with the aesthetic. UH-60M, UH-60M SOA, UH-60M DAP. Okay, so those are the Blackhawks, right? What? Oh, I see, because you can... What? Why don't I have the... Oh, because I've got the upgraded ones. Although it says MH60. How do I get the UH60? Or maybe I can't. I don't know, apparently this is different now. Is that right? The SOA... That's also an MH60, so that's... But yeah, I can't get the UH60, so... Which is an incorrect patch note, basically. So yeah, the MH60... DAP and SOA look different now, apparently. They look identical to each other, so I'm not sure what's going on there. They look identical. Don't you want them both to look different? Anyway. Oh no, the MH67 SOAR is apparently different from the UH60M SOAR, but wait, where is the UH60M SOAR? UH60M Blackhawk, and I get all the guns in it. That's weird, man. Maybe they're gonna add it soon, and that was just a slip of the tongue, who knows? K52 and K52K, KA52 and K Katran, so they look the same. I suppose they are pretty similar. The Baltic Invasion PV solo co-op scenario has been improved to add one more cooperative player. So now you can have 3 people in your co-op. Right, balance. We finally got to the balance. So let's just... what is that? Oh my gosh, we've been on 40 minutes. I'm really sorry about this, guys. Did I thank the generous channel joiners? Anyway, in parallel with the technical work of the programming team, our game design team is working on gameplay improvements. There are 3 levels of balance. The balance between the factions, the balance between specializations within a faction, and the balance of units within specializations. As for each level, the important factors are how popular options are and how well they perform in terms of win rate. The previous patch 1.0.9 was aimed at the 2nd and 3rd level and successfully managed to rebalance the level of interest of previously overplayed and underplayed battle groups. What actually happened was they made the win rates worse, so Russia was even stronger than it was before. In fact, it actually says it here. So it went from 49.51 to 40. I'm quite surprised that they're willing to admit that. Yeah, the last patch. Sorry, we just fucked it up. I'm quite surprised they would even bring that up. Anyway, I had people tell me that the 49.51 was actually a lie, and the reason it was 49.51 was because it was including mirror matches. So obviously, if USA plays against USA, it's going to be a 50% USA win rate. So that's obviously not ideal. I do wonder if these include mirror matches as well. Maybe they don't, but either way, it got worse. Yeah, so the US Armoured plus SOF Battle Group, which was far ahead of all other options, did lose popularity. I mean, yes, it did. The only viable one got nerfed. The Russian Coastal Troop Specialization, which was very rarely played, even though it was pretty powerful, has gained a lot of attention. And the Guards, Tanks plus Coastal Troops Battle Group, which was previously one of the least used combinations, is now one of the most used. Yeah, basically everybody just spams cruise missiles all the time. Another consequence, this one unintended, was a shift of balance in favour of the Russia faction. Yes. This is the consequence of the previous patch reducing the cost efficiency of the most overperforming units on both sides. But not touching the power of the coastal spec, as its potential was not yet discovered by most players. The previous balance ratio between release and 1.0.9 was 51.2% in favour of Russia, and since this patch the disparity has increased to almost 54%, so we need to improve that. So yeah, once again, it's good that they actually admitted that, oh yeah, we made things worse. Although they don't really say it, right? They just say, oh, it's kind of your fault, actually, because you hadn't discovered your potential yet. So it's this, wow, what can I say? I'm perfect, it's just if only you would discover your potential. Anyway, however, it's important to observe that above 2000 elo, the faction balance is much better and very close to 50-50. So more cope. But that only concerns the top 5%. The main reason for that is the difference of design between the two factions. Russia is designed as a mainly ground-based power, with masses of universal units that are pretty straightforward to use, while the USA is designed as a more air-based power with very powerful but more specialized units. All those specialists correctly used and coordinated are very powerful, but if used wrongly, they perform very badly. So basically, they're just saying that you're skill issued, more or less. I mean, it makes sense. Every complex game has this problem, where at the lower level, certain strats are OP, and factions which have those strats are OP, right? So like the Rush is usually the most common one, right? Whereas higher level players sort of just deal with that, they know how to counter it, and it's naturally not that strong. So these things do happen. So I'm being a bit facetious when I say that they're just blaming you. But I'm actually quite surprised that they would even admit that they made things worse, but yeah, credit to them. Credit where credit's due. This new balance patch aims at re-establishing a better balance between the two factions for the majority of the players while trying to maintain a good balance at high level, two full stops. To do so, we improved the interoperability of the different US specializations by moving some units from one specialization to another, and we changed the seating capability of some vehicles to facilitate the mixing of infantry units and transports between specializations, okay? While doing so, we continue our efforts to balance the interest of the specializations within the factions and the units within the specializations by targeting over or underperforming units or weapons specifically. So basically what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to read everything out and show it off. Just keep in mind, so like when I cover the Wano patch notes, obviously I go around telling everybody I'm the world #1 player and stuff. That is obviously a joke. Some people really lack a sense of humor. But for Wano, obviously, I am one of the best players, so I can sort of pass a professional judgment on how this is going to change things. For Broken Arrow, I don't play it anymore because it's shit. So we'll read through it and we'll show it off. Maybe this will bring me back. Actually, I mean, I was waiting for fixes. Hopefully, it brings people back. Hopefully, the game does well. I want the game to succeed, by the way. And then, like in a couple of weeks, I'll interview my buddy who actually is the rank 1 player, and we'll, I'll ask him what this actually changed, right? Once he's had a chance to play it. So the KH-32 missile, the Tu-22M3, now lofts in high altitude before diving on its target, like in reality. Air defense units use their high altitude optics and weapons range to intercept it. Okay, so this was from the... Yeah, so basically, TU... I used to spam this out loads, and people like, it's not strong, and now everybody uses it. Oh, actually, no, I used to buy the other one. My bad. Anyway, the idea is... so the way this used to work, or it might be the other TU one, is that it would immediately drop to the ground, and then it would go really close to the ground, and then it would hit the target, and it meant that nothing could hit it. Unless the AA was right in that path, it just couldn't see it, it couldn't reach it. So now it will go into the air, and will be a bigger target, so that should hopefully reduce the Russian cruise missile spam in this game. The KH-29 missile aim time has been increased from 1 to 3 seconds to prevent instant blind fire against SAM sites engaging the plane carrying them. KH-29. So that'll be on the other TU, presumably. No, that's a KH-101. KH-29, is that the one on the helicopter on Coastal? Either way, I'm a big fan of nerfing the Russians' ridiculous cruise missile spam, because that's not fun to play at all, and is one of the reasons I stopped playing the game. But yeah, is it this thing? KH-29... KH-35U. I'm not sure what the KH-29 is on. Sorry guys, I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me. If I look hard enough, I'll find it, but it's not worth it. Designer notes. Designers' note. These two missiles were able to easily overwhelm any amount of air defense. Yes, they were. Making their use a low-cost, high-reward solution. Okay. And then the CAB 1500 aim... So this is actually, I think, quite a good idea. If they just explain why they did every change. I think that takes... because obviously there's a lot of people who don't understand why a change has happened, and then they get upset. But yeah, I think it's actually worth taking the time to do this. I wish more companies would do this, rather than just a list of changes. They've actually said this is why we've done it. Blimey, this goes on for ages. I'm going to be here all day. Oh. Anyway... yeah, the CAB 1500, so that's one of the smart bombs. It's a shame you can't search by weapon type, but I do believe that is dropped from certain planes. I just can't remember which ones. So let's get the VDV up, and the Coastal, why not? CAB 1500, CAB 1500. CAB 1500. It's a CAB 500, whatever. Anyway, the aim time has gone down. An aim time was added to smart bombs to prevent them from sniping tanks on the move. Yeah, vehicles must be the only thing usable in this game. Hooray, hooray for the vehicles. This change proved to be efficient without requiring a very long duration. A too long duration makes the strike hard to achieve even when planning it correctly. So yeah, at least the vehicles are slightly a small nerf to vehicles. Incredible. Vehicles with reloadable short-range AA missiles reload time reduced. Okay, more buffs for vehicles. It's pretty obvious the kind of game they want. They just want you to blob your vehicles up and just drive them around in circles and just buy as little infantry as possible. Any infantry you do buy, you keep with a vehicle. I mean, it's a game design philosophy. I personally don't enjoy it very much, but it's a consistent vision. Some people enjoy it. Vehicles with reloadable short-range AA missiles reload time reduced, so double Iglas on the Urals, MTLB, BTRs. Whoa, it's actually a significant reload decrease, so it's gone from 20 to 10 seconds and 30 to 12 seconds, so it's like, half or better. The ZSU Strelets, so yeah, that's like another gun one with Iglas on it. 20 to 30 to 15 to 18 Sec P. So yeah, it's halved again. Well, okay, not really. It's like 50% reduction. Strela 10 reload time from 20 to 30 to 15 to 18. So yeah, another reduction. The Luchnik E Iglas reduced 20 to 30 to 20 to 35. What does it mean by 20 to 30? Is it randomized? Because I was assuming the reason this was a range is because there's multiple things here. But this is saying it's like a range. So is there RNG in reload times? You'd hope not. But maybe there's multiple things that get the Luchnik E, but is there really RNG in the reload times? Surely not. Because yeah, one of the... Huh. Not sure why that comes up. Oh, I see. No, there is. There's RNG in the reload times. Because yeah, one of the things that people said, including myself, when this game first came out, is, oh, it's got less RNG than Warner, that's good. But actually it doesn't, because you have fewer units, the RNG matters a lot more. Actually has more RNG for that reason. US air defense vehicles with a single pod of 4 Stingers, reload time... I'm blown away by this. The fact that the reload time is a range, and the aim time is a range. Is that if it's panicked, it's 2 seconds, maybe? And if it's panicked, it's 25 seconds? Is that right? Or does it really just have RNG and how long it takes to aim? Blimey. Anyway, US air defense vehicles with a double pod. I've got 20 to 25 seconds. This will slightly increase the performance of the low-range shore-edge systems and will help them compete with the top-tier units. Since the US doesn't have long-range shore-ed, this will slightly improve their maximal shore-ed efficiency. Yeah, I've got to admit, man, the Striker M shore-ed was just so crap. It would... Frequently, I would fire... all 8 missiles, and I wouldn't kill what I was shooting at. And now it will take 20 to 25 seconds, and now it will reload 5 seconds faster sometimes. It's not really a big change. Anyway, let's double check that's working. The M830 heat penetration. Oh yeah, so this is something that got pointed out a lot, actually. Yeah. The M830 heat shell penetration increased from 400 to 600, and the M30 830A1 heat DP has gone from 9 to 10. Yeah, so there was an exploit, which I actually, in the interview with the Rank 1 player, he talks about this, where the Abrams would take 3 shells to kill a Russian BMP-3? Or was it a BMD-3? It was one of them. And yeah, that just meant that playing Russia was just way better, because you would just buy those vehicles and saturate, and the Abrams would take 3 hits to kill them, and it's like, oh, that's not going to happen, basically. But yeah, the game designer really seems to hate, really seems to hate one-shot kills. He wants everything to... Somebody called it a pillow fight game. I thought that was a pretty good way of putting it. Anyway, so yeah, now more Russian stuff should die in 2 hits to these lower-end tanks. Oh, and to the higher-end tanks, I suppose. Time to go back to the deck increased for units refunded with empty ammunition. Yeah, so basically, it was really dumb, and we did point this out a lot of times, and they said it wasn't a problem. I remember that specific conversation. Basically, what you would do is just buy MLRS or buy cruise missiles. You would just shoot them all from your spawn, and then you would just sell them. Because the game taxes you for every unit you have on the field, it was just way more convenient to do that than to keep it there and reload it, because it would just be draining your income all that time. So they fixed it for the cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. Let's see if it's actually fixed. And it doesn't look like they've done it for the MLRS, so I guess that's still going to happen. Patriot Pack 2 moved from the armored to the USMC specialization. So the Patriot Pack 2, I do remember a video where I said this was bad, and a lot of people got very, very upset. Basically, it's got more damage than the Patriot Pack 3. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's got more damage. And so even though this one has like Giga 10 Guerrilla missiles, look at the damage. So 21 means the Patriot Pack 2 can one-shot any plane if it hits it. And so that's just way worth having compared to the other one, even if the other one carries, 4 times as many missiles. But yeah, the semi-active is kind of annoying. But hey, at least it can one-shot people. So that's been moved from armored to USMC. I mean, yeah, basically every US spec was armored something. Like, those were the only things people would play, armored whatever. And armored USMC wasn't that popular because, how wide those guys' nostrils are. USMC wasn't that... USMC armored wasn't that popular because, well, why would you bother? You've already got the tanks, you don't need more tanks. So, now I guess armored is less good. Patriot Pack 3 moved from Striker to the Armoured. Yeah, so the Striker spec had 2 types of Patriot, the Pack 3 and the Pack 3 MSE, which you see before you. And now it doesn't. So, I can't remember which one is better. I'm sure some boffin will tell me. So yeah, clearly the MSE is better because it goes further and everything else is the same. So... why wouldn't you want that for the same price? So Armoured now gets the worst Patriot, I guess? By split, yeah, having both Patriot Pack 3 and Pack 3 MSC in the Striker specialization made them redundant, yep. By splitting the long-range AA capability between more US specializations, we make the faction easier to play without good team coordination. Okay. The least performant Pack 3 was given... oh, so he actually says, yeah, this is the worst one. It was given to the Armoured spec in order to promote building other unit combinations. Yeah, because everything was Armoured something. Because you have to if you actually want to compete as America. So, strikes me as a US nerf, not a buff, but anyway. Viper rockets loadout changed. APCUs now come in pods of 7 and Hydras in pods of 19. So that's a nerf. Because it used to be 19, right, on the ACPUs. So that's another nerf. I thought they were buffing America. Why does it keep getting worse? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the ACPUs used to carry... sorry, APCUs, not APCUs. Anyway, it used to have more missiles. So, although I guess it's cheaper now. I don't remember it being 5 points, frankly. Venom unguided Hydra 7s replaced by bigger 19 rocket pods. So that makes the Hydras better. And the APCUs worse. Oh, but it costs 3 times as much now. The Zuni is the one I'm interested in. The Zuni is a very cool rocket. It goes further, right? Or at least it should. As we need the Super Cobra. So, 1,300, 1,200. It fires some nice big missiles. Lots of fun. It looks cool as well. The UH-1Y Venom now gets a GAU-21 door gun. GAU-21 is the is that the minigun? No, it's not. It's a 50 cal. Why you'd want any of these is beyond me. I mean, it's a transport. Suppose you could build it with Hydras, or the latest and greatest, you know, APCUs. Anyway, the APCU's guided rocket are mostly seen in the small 7-tube rocket pods rather than the big 19-tube pods. Following this real-life observation allows us to make the choice between APCU's and Hydra options more meaningful in the game. We have also added a few more options where possible. Okay. The Apache Guardian was moved from Special Forces to Airborne. Yeah, nobody was really playing Airborne that much, so... And Special Force, well, Armored Special Forces was obviously the really strong one before they mega nerfed Special Forces and made Russia OP. Like killing the only thing that can kill them. But there you go, so this is an Airborne now. The M60 DAP receives the option to carry the Hellfire or Dagger on the outer pylons. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good, but it is... Oh no, I see, it's this one. The Hellfire on the outer pylons. So you can get 4 times Hellfire and absolutely spam out Hellfires, I suppose. Very exciting. That was in the trailer as well. The AH-64E Guardian, 19 Hydropods option replaced by 8 daggers. Okay. I mean, does that matter? I mean, it says 16, not 8, but... Anyway, you can bring some daggers. If you want, or you can bring many daggers if you also want. Can be dagger pilled. Are these any good? Anyway, the H64D Apache and longbow, APCUs replaced by because the APCUs has been nerfed, and the H64D Apache asymmetric loadout added with 4 Hellfire missiles and a fuel tank. What, on a helicopter that doesn't have fuel? What are they on about? I don't see any fuel tanks. 4 Hellfire missiles and a fuel tank. Yeah, I mean, there's the fuel tank, but... What? Is it just so it can be cheaper? Like, it's got a cheaper option, basically. I mean, because obviously the fuel tank confers no value to this unit, because the units in this game don't have fuel except planes, so that wouldn't do anything. I think it's just so you've got an opportunity to bring some cheaper Hellfires to make the unit cheaper, and still have a double wrecker Hellfires, like so. Because I think the outer pylons and the inner pylons can shoot simultaneously, basically. So like your first 4 out would be like double fired, and then the next ones wouldn't be, I think. Anyway. Designers note the presence of the best AH-64 helicopter in the Special Forces specialization didn't leave anything outstanding to the airborne spec. Special Forces have many good alternatives, and the DAP anti-tank capability was reinforced in compensation. Grouping 3 Apaches in the same spec made them more redundant, so we've added some unique customizations. Yeah, because now aren't they all in airborne? If the... Yeah, so now the airborne has all the Apaches. Okay. Sure, why not? I mean, I feel like that is redundant still, even if you've got a fuel tank. Not sure what that's helping you with. Anyway, MH60 DAP transport capability increased from 6 to 8. So there's a lot of squads which are 8, right? Although airborne just got increased to 9, as did weapon squad. There are squads which are 8. I'm not entirely sure what they are. Anyway, Black Hawk helicopters infantry capacity increased from 12 to 13. That's a bigger deal because aren't Marines 13? How much is Delta Force? 12. Okay. Marines 14. 14 for the Raiders. So Raiders still can't go in the Black Hawk, but they can go in the Silent Hawk, as can regular Marines, which are 13. So now you can have Black Hawk deployed Marine squads. They've put the black guys at the front so they can get shot first. Have you noticed that? All the front guys are. It's crazy. Anyway, Venom infantry capacity increased from 8 to 9, and the price has gone up. ISV infantry capacity increased from 8 to 9, but yeah, if the airborne squad has gone to 9, then obviously, yes, their transport options have gone to 9. Otherwise, that wouldn't be particularly great. MTV truck infantry capacity increased from 16 to 18. The price increased from 50 to 55. Okay, I'm not sure what squad is 17 or 18. I guess it's like multiples of a squad. So this MTV can now transport 2 airborne squads or 2 weapon squads. Its price has gone up, so it's like a capability that you're basically never going to need. And now you have to pay more. It did say that US was weak. I feel like they're just kind of nerfing it a lot. Anyway, lots of truck things have gone up. Airborne squad size has increased to 9 men and the price has gone up. Weapon squad has increased to 9 men. These new values reinforce the interoperability of specializations. For instance, the Black Hawk can carry a squad of Marines, the ISV and the Venom can carry a squad of Rangers. Okay, so I forgot about Rangers and Troopers. What are Rangers and Troopers? 9. So they just made the airborne the same as everybody else. I don't know, it feels like that's a loss of variety. I feel like the airborne infantry in this game is kind of shit. Maybe that's my skill issue, but they don't feel that good. Just making sure there's actually 9 guys there. This should make the US decks easier to build and play. Well, I mean, you've increased all the prices. So, we made your airborne squad size go up by 1. Thanks. You have to pay 5 points extra for it. Okay. You also have to pay 5 points extra for your transport. Thanks for the help, you know? Anyway. The Ranger's standoff configuration rifle changed from the M4A1 Mod 2 to the M4A1 URG-I. This unit suffers from a redundancy with airborne squads. Well, it certainly does now that they're the same size. And other Special Forces units, in combination with more transport compatibility, this change should make them more appealing. So, there you go. Rangers are the real winners, because they get, they get to fit in things, and the damage has gone up, apparently. So, here are Rangers. So, the M4A1 URG-I. Okay. I'm not sure what difference it makes. I'm trying to find one. That's probably it. But yes, it does more damage. It must make the bullets go faster, the more labels you put on the end of the gun. Sturm S reload time increased from 5 to 6 seconds. Yes, this thing was very strong. Sturm S. Like, for the price. Actually, was the attacker always 6 seconds? Anyway. Attacker's nice missile. Cornet T and Chrysanthema reload time increased from 5 to 8 seconds. So yeah, this is another... Cornet... the Chrysanthema was very popular. You can't see the missile there, but it's got nice range and so on. So yes, they have made it take longer to reload. These missile launchers can reload while guiding their missiles, since they are not wire guided. Okay. This ability combined with a fast reload speed meant that the next missile was sometimes ready to fire before the impact of the previous. Okay. I definitely noticed that. Increasing the reload time creates an opening that can be exploited to engage them with guns. Okay. Attacker missiles fired on the move from vehicles. Aim time increased by 1 second. So that's a nerf to the Barbarous. That's nice. What's it actually gone up to? It's weird that they say from 5 to 6 here, but they just say 1 second here. Barbarous. The attackers, so that's so what was it, 1 to 2 seconds before? Okay. Missiles' aim time is low to compensate for the need to stop, and the flight time that is higher than a shell. In their case, there is no need to stop, so the reduced aim time is less justified. They must still maintain a direct line of sight, so the aim time remains inferior to a javelin. Because the javelin does actually aim slower. But, you know, they sort of worded that a bit weirdly, but the... so yeah, you can get that in the javelin, and then this is 3 to 4 seconds. But the idea is then this can piss off because it will guide itself, allegedly. I mean, it says terminal guidance, but it's, instead of fire and forget. Anyway. BMP-3M's option additional smoke removed. So yeah, these were the ones that people were spamming because the Americans couldn't two-shot them. They could only three-shot them. So people would presumably get the additional smoke so that they can, you know, spam more. Well, spam less, but live longer. BMP-3F's jammer upgrade price has gone down and the additional smoke has been removed. The presence of a double smoke on top of the jammer and the 400mm of heat armor makes the BMP-3M too resilient for its price. Yeah, that's what that guy who's rank 1 was telling me, that these are kind of broken. Instead of increasing the price, we have removed the double smoke. But when it comes to the Americans, they just increase the price in exchange for 1 more man seating. What can I say? BT-3F armor upgrade price has gone from 15 to 20. BT-3F. Okay. Presumably people were using this. The Morskaya Pehota price has gone up by 5. So wasn't that the Russian naval infantry? Yes, there they are. Hang on, aren't these guys who are shit? Or is that Cherny Beretti? Anyway, I wasn't bringing these anyway, but presumably somebody was if they nerfed it. Oto, Strokey. Yeah, because these guys are just way better. I mean, actually, are they? No, they deal less damage on their guns. They've got one more guy, which is very useful, and they've got less armor. So, but they've got one less armor. Yeah. And then the grenade launchers are the same. The PKP is better than the, but you have to be stopped. But it does shoot further. And the RPG on the motor stroke is nicer, but it's, you get 1 fewer. Interesting. It really does strike me as a sort of, you know, it doesn't really matter, but anyway. These 2 units form the backbone of the coastal troops' ground dominance. The BT-3F can carry any combination of 2 7-man squads, and the 400mm armor upgrade guarantees the survival to 2 tank shots. The Morskaya Pehota is an excellent all-rounder, able to deal with most infantry and armoured targets. A slight price nerf was required to put it in line with the other infantry options. Okay, I'll take your word for it. New models for these, they already said this, but there it is again. The BMD-4 up-armoured version now have increased heat protection. The HP has gone to 16 and the upgrade price has increased to 10. So BMD-4, I mean, I suppose we showed it off before, but I didn't notice that the price had changed. So apparently it was 5 points before. I feel like it's very worth it just for the extra HP. Cornet D1 frontal armor increased from 60 to 80. New armor customization. So there you go. You can what? Oh, the frontal armor's gone up to 80 apparently. And for 15 points you can get it up armored. It loses its airborne. I don't know, it's probably worth it. Maybe it's not, but I would rather, you know, survive some hits and smoke and run away. Although nothing seems to get one shot, so it doesn't really matter. Designers note these models were rather old and didn't propose much in terms of customization. The reveal of a new armor kit during this year's Moscow Victory Day Parade, Da Tovarish, was the occasion to upgrade these models and include the new armor. I mean, they don't even disguise the fact that they're just blatantly Russian nationalists. It is a welcome addition to help the small VDV squads and their light vehicles to better hold their ground. Note that the additional armor removes the airdroppable ability. I did note that. So the Sheridan on the US side received an additional smoke charge, so that's the M551 Sheridan, and that's got 2 smoke now. Maybe somebody will bring it now. And the Sprut received... I thought the Spruts were actually pretty good. I liked them. Some people don't like them, but now they've got 2 smoke. So I think that's really useful, actually, for 80 points for that. Like, you know, is that not great? You get a nice missile, right? And this goes the same distance anyway, so is there any point in upgrading? Oh, I suppose it lets you see further, but who cares? Like, this is such a nice gun for 80 points, in my opinion. Maybe I'm bad now, maybe I'm washed now. Anyway, these 2 vehicles with low resilience are rather underperforming. Alright, well, maybe... I must just be really good at the game then, if I was to win with such an underperforming unit. The Sprut will suffer from the Abrams heat shell buff, so a second smoke will help them survive longer. Yep. We buffed America, but don't worry, guys. I got you. I gave you some extra stuff. Anyway, the Flyer GMV resilience increased from 8 to 10 hit points. What is it? That's... Oh, it must be one of the few things in this game that could have been one-shot. One-shot's not allowed. M230 upgrade price reduced... Okay, that strikes me as something that could probably be quite annoying. You send it round the sides and, you know, hit some guys in the side, that sort of thing. This should make it an interesting alternative to the faster Arsov. Oh yeah, that's probably why I never saw it. Because the Arsov is faster. Although it's not actually that much faster, but 130 is nice, right? Off-road speed 60, off-road speed 65. Okay. Interesting. And this obviously can't get the funny gun. BMP2 without conkers for 50 points. Yeah, isn't that crazy? BMP2s are regularly observed without the ATGM in reality. Isn't that crazy? But we can't have it in war now because, bros, they always have conkers, bros. If there's a war, there will just be enough ammo for everybody all the time. In-game, in comparison with the BMP-1AM, the BMP-2 offers a better autocannon, the 2A42, with a higher rate of fire but a lower troop carrying capacity. So the BMP-1AM has an 8-man capacity. And what's the BMP-2? 7. I mean, yeah, obviously it's a bit of a meme that they would have 7 guys inside there, but yes, technically it can carry that many. Striker SPH cluster rounds customization added, and the accuracy is increased. Hooray! I used to like these a lot, but use them for smoke anyway, so what does it matter? So yeah, you can bring it cluster if you want. But yeah, you use them for smoke, so... the accuracy is actually a bad thing, because now the smoke will not be as dispersed. The M98-5 battleship truck armor has increased to match an up-armored Hempt. Not a very popular unit. Yeah, this thing, if you're not sure what this is, it's the thing with the 2 toes on it, and ta-da! People would basically just buy 20 of them at the end and, like, conga line them. A bit more armor will not do any harm, and it removes a discrepancy. You should try it with the triple grenade launchers as a fire support vehicle. Okay, but it's like, so if you're... I'm pretty sure all 3 can't engage at once. I'm pretty sure, because this one only points backwards and this one only points forwards. Maybe I'm wrong, but... because you can see the maximum traverse there. So, yeah, we'll see. Fixed vehicles missing the laser range increase announced impact. Yeah, exactly. They said we increased the laser range, and then some of them just didn't have it. So, some vehicles' laser abilities were missed last time. The idea behind the longer designation range is that vehicles cannot sneak as much as infantry, so they require to be able to laser from a safe distance of anti-tank missiles. There's 2 spaces there. Same logic for helicopters. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember which vehicles it was. I think it was like 1 helicopter, 1 vehicle. They just didn't do it for. Hawkeye, it's interesting. It's actually really... It tells you a lot about how they make the game. That there's not just a laser designation tag that you just attach to things, and then you change the laser designation tag and it changes everything. It must be that they have to do everything manually, which is probably why it's taken them so fucking long. So that's a bit of a downside. Anyway, Hawkeye MWS smoke rounds customization option added. Yeah, so airborne specialization only has the Brutus as an option. To what? I thought you got a mortar. I thought you got a mortar for smoke. I mean, that's certainly what I used. Maybe it was coming in a different tab, but no, I'm not seeing it. Brutus, Hawkeye. It's seriously not a mortar. I guess because I used it with something else. I was probably getting the mortar. Yeah, so apparently the airborne guys, they just deploy into battle without mortars. I'm sure that's realistic. So yeah, I must have been getting the mortar from the armoured regiment or whatever, because they've got the self-propelled... yeah, like these. They've got 2. I just assumed one of them was coming from the airborne spec. No, it's not. They don't have a mortar. Wow. Anyway. Hang on, Lav M. Is that Special Forces, or...? Oh, it's CUSMC, okay. Yeah, Lav M, HE... Oh, yeah, so the Hawkeye now shoots smoke rounds. So that's one of these trucks with a gun on the back. That's 105s. And you have to... Oh, so they only bring 1 type of ammunition. So if you want... Well, that's very silly. Who knows? Maybe somebody will bring that, but... maybe you don't have a choice if you're armoured spec ops, right? Anyway, Lav M Dragonfire gets 3 more HE shells and 3 less smoke rounds. Okay, and the Lav M HE smoke loadout has gone from 66% HE, 33% smoke to 50-50. What's the Dragonfire? Lav... That must be an upgrade, right? So it says, small caliber mortars are not very popular because of their low damage but are perfect to lay smoke barrages, so we've reinforced this aspect, but you just removed 3 smoke rounds from the 120mm. I guess that's not classed as... whatever. The Deva mortar, 82mm on the MTLB, HE smoke out loadout changed from 56.27 to 42.42. What are the remaining percentages? Oh no, I see, that's just a number. I thought this was a percentage. No, it's just a number. So the Lav M... My bad. So... yeah, 50-50, it's not 50%, it's just 50. Striker specialization, 250 points transferred from the support category to the infantry category. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird that the striker guys got so much in their support tab, and I suppose everything's kind of messed up now. But yeah, I would do striker SOF, which was not meta at all, but I had fun with it. And I'm not sure it's gone, maybe I deleted it. Anyway. Yeah, it was kind of weird how big the support tab was, so... This will help the airborne striker combination without impacting much the other combinations, okay? Because, yeah, airborne does kind of struggle with the support tab. Increase all 7.62 miniguns range to 700 meters and damage to 0.9, area of effect removed. They're configured to not do as much damage compared to machine guns, but with an AoE. This was unclear for the players, and the UI was displaying the damage as cluster. Well, okay, so... Right, and as a rule of thumb, consider that a minigun has the power of 2 machine guns. Okay. TOS 1 resupply time increased from 5 to 7 seconds per rocket. TOS 1A resupply... So this is the burrito, right? TOS 1A resupply time increased from 6 to 10 seconds per rocket. That's a shame. Didn't it get nerfed last patch as well? I don't know. I don't see people bring this. Maybe I'm just noob, but now it's even worse. Okay. This is a powerful unit that can clean up an entire district from enemy infantry, but this should not happen every 3 minutes. So now it happens every 4 minutes. F-15EX option to carry the harm missiles on the outer pylons added. Interesting. FEX centerline and fuselage weaponry merged into a single customization category. Okay. What? This change should not impact much the combination of airborne with Striker or UMSMC, which already use the Prowlers and the F-16s, yeah. This will help create some more autonomous airborne plus SOF and airborne plus armoured battle groups. The weapon merging is done to better manage the overall price of the plane. It is a very expensive plane, with all the stuff on it. F-15EX. So that's the fuselage. And the centerline and the fuselage are now the same. Okay. Did it have the ability? Because, like, surely you could have mixed and matched before, and now you can't. On the fuselage. And the centerline. Who knows? I don't play the game enough to really have a comment on that. R-27ER and AIM-7 Sparrow can now be guided 2 onto the same target and fired in quick succession. That is actually a big change. The rate of fire of planes' missiles depends on the quantity of identical missiles carried. To ripple fire a pair of R-27Rs, you need to select a loadout with at least 4 of these missiles, otherwise the first missiles reach the target by the time the second is fired. Yeah, so basically people would just spam out 10 Guerrillian AMRAAMs because they've got the terminal guidance, they could actually do it. Whereas the Sparrows couldn't, which is the AIM-7, right? Which I guess this isn't carrying. Who carries the Sparrow? Maybe the F-16? No, maybe the Harriers? It's something old, because the Sparrow's the older one, right? But... well, whatever, I can't be asked. So now they can fire 2 onto the target. BMP-1 and BRM-1K, the Grom, can now fire on the move. That's hilarious. I mean, it's completely unstabilized, but okay, can fire on the move now. You are 77 price, and in this game, you don't lose any accuracy from firing on the move. So that is quite funny. So the BMP-1 is better now. For those of... I want to look at the BRM-1K. So 60 points for the Grom of Doom. Grom will breach it, as they say in Lord of the Rings. UR-77 price reduced from 100 to 90. The mine-clearing vehicles are very situational, and we don't expect them to be used very often. But this one was really underperforming compared to its American equivalents. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't really see this very often. Yeah, it's only got 1. It's only got... oh, actually, it says it's got 2 in there, apparently. Okay. Oh, but it would fire them both at once. Alright. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just wrong. I mean, that's also a possibility. It does happen. So yeah, that's cheaper now. Yeah, I'll admit, I saw it once in the press beta and then nobody ever used it again. So clearly it wasn't very good. The air-to-ground anti-tank missiles, the Maverick, the KH-25, the KH-38, and the Vicar launch margin angle reduced and missile seeker angle reduced. That's hilarious. So vehicles are even better now because the anti-tank planes can't kill them either. Hooray! They nerfed the cluster ones last time. What a game design philosophy. We just want bands of vehicles just fast moving down all the roads. Isn't that fun game design, guys? Okay. The launch margin angle is the angle at which the missile can be launched compared to the axis of the plane. Yeah, exactly. So the seek angle is used to reacquire a new target if the original area is lost. As a result, these missiles will be fired at targets located closer to the... Yeah, it's a nerf. It's a massive nerf. Because you would be able to like launch sideways, and now you can do that less. F-35A availability reduced from 4 to 2, so that's another nerf to the Americans. The bombing order is used instead of the precision strike to bypass the aim time of the fire of the precision strike. What? So when you use the precision strike button, it has to wait a few seconds to shoot because it was too OP against vehicles. Vehicles wouldn't be able to fast path out of the way in time. And so what people were doing apparently is they were just using a regular bombing order and then it would still drop the same bomb. And now they've just reduced the availability of the plane. They've halved it. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. We noticed you were killing vehicles with anything. What a joke. Oh man. Comanche is more easily spotted when firing Hellfire missiles. Yes, this is that stealth helo. It's made up, it's not real. 2.5 stealth. And yeah, basically what you would do is you would put some stingers on it, put a Hellfire on it, and you would just go sneak around. Like you would just have some cheap stuff on it, right? But then you would just go sneak around the side. Maybe you'd put some more Hellfires, but you just go sneak all the way around the side of the map, get to the enemy spawn, and just shoot a bunch of stuff, and then piss off, or just stay there until you die, and you would very, very, very much accomplish your objective of annoying the enemy. Usually, you would pay for yourself. This helicopter has exceptional infiltration capabilities, and using it means choosing when and where to deliver the first strike. We want to keep it that way, as this is what makes it unique. However, we also want to ensure that once the first strike has been delivered, this helicopter is spotted, so that decisions to attack are made more carefully. And then the usual, we continue to closely monitor statistics and feedback, and so on and so on. Thank you. Yeah, so basically the overwhelming problem in this game is that the way you play it is you just get a bunch of vehicles and you just drive them around in circles. And they've just made that stronger because they've nerfed the planes that kill them, and they nerfed the helos that kill them. And last time they nerfed the planes that killed them, and they nerfed the infantry that kills them. So they want the vehicles to be strong. They want that gameplay. That gameplay they think is a good thing. They want you to just drive vehicles around in circles and clown car people. So, yeah, I mean, if you enjoy this game, credit to you. I got a lot of respect for... If you enjoy this game, credit to you. But I mean, I just think it's silly, and they clearly have no intention of actually fixing that very fundamental problem because they think it's a good thing. So it's definitely a step in the right direction in terms of, the anti-cheat and stuff like that. We'll see if they make the balance worse, right? Because they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll buff America to fix this problem we've created, or, made worse. And then they just sort of, like, nerfed it a bunch. Yeah, what is there to say? I mean, obviously this took an hour and a half. If you made it to the end, thanks for watching it. I just don't care anymore. We'll see if the game gets any better. This isn't enough to really bring me back in a big way, but it's nice that they're doing something, right? So I'll see you around. GG.